So why do so many autistic people struggle with social communication? Well, what if I told you that these struggles aren't inherent to autism, but are rather the result of trauma blocking the natural socialization process? From understanding tone of voice to expressing emotions, these are skills learnt early in life, as long as the door to socialization is left open. But when trauma closes that door, that's when the struggles begin. In this video, I'm going to show you how trauma causes those challenges and how emotional healing can reopen the door to social and emotional growth. Socialization begins before we're even born. As a fetus, we begin attuning into the world around us, hearing our mother's voice, sensing her emotions, and connecting with the rhythm of her heartbeat. This lays the foundation for social and emotional learning, which continues after birth through facial expressions, tone of voice, and gestures. But when trauma enters the picture, either through something the mother experiences and is felt by the fetus, or something that an infant experiences directly, this natural process can become disrupted. The brain, instead of focusing on connection, shifts into survival mode. The door to socialization begins closing, and the critical skills that come from early social learning, like reading social cues, understanding emotions, and communicating effectively, are left undeveloped. Without these basic building blocks acquired through the socialization process, an individual is forced to adapt by developing a systemizing cognitive style. This style focuses on systems and patterns and logic rather than social or emotional nuances. Now, this is a brilliant adaptation, but it leaves a huge gap in social communication skills. Imagine growing up in a world that's been designed for people with an empathizing cognitive style, a world that expects you to read facial expressions, understand sarcasm, or intuitively pick up on social rules. To the systemizing mind, this kind of world can feel confusing and even unwelcoming. When an autistic person misses a social cue or struggles to express their emotions, they're often met with rejection, ridicule, or misunderstandings. These negative experiences compound the original trauma, creating layer upon layer of self-doubt and fear. Social situations become a source of anxiety, leading to avoidance, isolation, and even more missed opportunities to learn and practice social skills. Over time, this cycle can reinforce social communication challenges like difficulty understanding tone of voice, facial expression, or body language, struggling to initiate or maintain conversations, difficulties with expressing emotion or needs effectively, and feeling misunderstood or even judged as being blunt or indifferent. The mainstream model of autism would have you believe that autistic people struggle with social communication because there's something broken inside of them that prevents them from learning these skills. But the whole problem with this idea is that many autistic people excel in areas that require an extremely high level of ability to learn for them to master these things. Yet these same people struggle with learning social skills. Social communication is just another system and should be extremely easy to learn for a person whose brain is adapted to excel at understanding patterns and systems. Autistic people don't struggle with social communication because they don't have the capacity to learn it. They struggle because they haven't been showing up for classes. But here's the good news. These social communication challenges aren't set in stone. It's trauma that blocks the door to socialization. By releasing the negative emotions stored in traumatic memories, we can reopen that door. By using techniques that gently release the stored pain, we can greatly reduce or even eliminate the self-doubt and fear that prevents autistic individuals from engaging in social learning. Once we lift this emotional weight, the brain can begin re-engaging in social and emotional growth again, regardless of what age the person is. It's never too late to start learning how to read social cues or how to express emotions more effectively, or even how to be more confident in conversations. With the right support and healing, Social interaction can become a source of growth rather than a source of stress. Social communication difficulties in autism aren't an inherent limitation. They're the result of trauma blocking access to the socialization process. When we address these traumas, we can create a pathway to learning and connection that helps autistic individuals thrive in their own way. In the next video in this series, we're going to explore how trauma impacts language and cognitive processing, another key area of struggle for those on the autism spectrum. So if you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel to learn more about autism, trauma and the path to healing, and give that notification bell a bit of a nudge so that you don't miss out on a single video in this series on autism challenges. Because believe me, what you're learning in these videos will change everything for you. If this video has sparked your curiosity as to how trauma underlies autism, then I'll put a link below in the description to one of my blog posts, The Ultimate Divergence Autism Theory, that breaks it all down in a way that makes it simple to understand. And I've also put a link to my free PDF, The Top 3 Myths About Autism and the Path to Spiritual Wellness for Autistic Adults, where you can begin your journey to breaking free of the limiting effects of trauma and start the process of unlocking your fullest potential. And if you want to know about how trauma created your neurodivergent mind, then this video up here will tell you everything you need to know.